Well, first and foremost, very, very proud of the fact that we secured another championship at Nevada. When we got here, we talked about that was the goal. Been able to do it now in the conference tournament and then do it in the regular season. Two different accomplishments, but two great, always hard to do that on the road versus a Nevada team that's as talented and well coached as anyone out there. They've just lost a lot of close games. So great toughness, great desire to be able to start in first place and finish in first place is amazing. Senior night, really, really proud to honor our four seniors, Mustafa, Nelly, Atiki, CJ, all different. And certainly you got to ask about them, but you got the guys who've been here a little bit longer in Nelly and Mustafa. Both have been amazing. Both could have had opportunities to leave, did not, and stay true to this program. And they've won a lot. So we don't do any of this without them. And then the additions of CJ and Atiki, when you lose a lot of guys, have been huge. They've been great in the locker room, great on the court. So all four of them, our goal is obviously always to win, but we hope that we put them in a better position after they're done than when they got here. And I truly believe we've done that with the four players. The three managers that we're honoring as well have been terrific and selfless and a huge part of our success. So excited about all of those. Obviously, a championship is great, and now we've got UNLV, who's as hot as any team in the league, coming in tomorrow. So a great challenge.
I suppose I'll ask you one at a time, but let's start with Daraje is going through it too. So I'm going to ask.
Daraje's not. He's not going to be honored. We talked to him about it because he's not going to graduate right away, so he didn't want to do it. He's on pace to graduate, but he's not graduating in May. So we were going to honor him, but he said, well, I'm not going to graduate. So
okay, so no Daraje on this one.
Nothing personal. Daraje's choice.
Atiki, what did I know he was injured when he got here. He kind of had some other injury issues, but can you tell us something about Atiki and what he brought this year? Yeah,
Atiki is a guy certainly came in behind a Nelly who's had an all-conference year, right? Is Nelly a first-team all-conference guy? I would assume so. I don't know, but one of the better veteran bigs out there. He's had some really, really good moments. I think the injury certainly hurt him a little, figuratively, but I think it set him back a little bit. But he toughed through it, and he's given us some really good minutes off the bench. And I still believe we've got plenty of basketball to play that we can still get a lot more out of him. Great kid. I know it's hard to you're from Tanzania and then you come from BYU to here, and he's been a huge addition to the program.
CJ?
Yeah, I think basketball aside, CJ is one of the more special kids that I've coached. An absolute leader. High level of substance as a human being. I tell the story all the time with CJ that we had been tinkering with starting lineups or whatever, and I brought him in to talk to him about, hey, I'm going to bring you off the bench, and the reason I'm going to do it. And he stopped me and said, I don't care, Coach. I just want to win. So we don't have the year that we are having because you lose a guy like Mashburn to the portal. You lose a guy like Housey. You needed to add a key guy. CJ is that, has made some huge shots. He's a really good defender. No surprise that a kid like he could come in and be voted captain, when he'd been here for a couple of months. So very, very grateful for him and what he's done for our program as a player. But, when scouts call me NBA, G League, overseas, I will just rave about him as a human being.
And what about Stuff?
Yeah, another guy who's really, really impacted the program. On the court, sixth man of the year last year, has certainly battled that plantar fasciitis, bone bruise. I feel like he's coming into his own a little bit more, getting more healthy. Made a huge shot to secure a championship last game. Just an immediate impact guy. He's going to leave here with 2 rings. Who knows? Maybe another Mountain West tournament. Who knows? And another guy who, I don't want to say actively recruited or not, but made the decision to come back, and we're very, very fortunate for it. And another awesome kid.
All right, and Nelly, I know he's been with you longer in a way, just because he was with your dad for 3 years too.
Yeah, that's kind of irrelevant, but the 2 years that he's been with me, certainly, I didn't know Nelly really well. Now I watched him and certainly spoke to the guys in that program about him as a person, and everybody loves Nelly. I remember we played in the Garden, and my dad's like waiting, and it was almost like I went to give him a hug. He was like, "Get out of my way! I need to see Nelly." Just one of those things. So, really, really, Nelly is an absolute joy to be around on a daily basis. He's funny. He's a great player. Obviously, has shown that he's gotten better. But it's going to be really hard to say goodbye to Nelly because he's a special kid.
Follow up on Nelly, and then I have one more sort of senior day question. But Nelly is a guy on the court that really, since the San Diego State game when they really doubled and sometimes triple teamed him, seems to kind of now be, I don't want to say reverting, but he's having a hard time catching some of Donnie's passes again. He's having a hard time finishing at the rim. I don't know how much of that's on Nelly, how much of that's on the guards, but the Nevada game and the San Diego State game, obviously Air Force in between, he did just fine. But those two games, he seemed to kind of be not at his best around the rim.
San Diego State was all San Diego State. You got to give them credit. They were phenomenal. I thought Donnie actually was throwing some 98-mile-an-hour fastballs on some of those ball screens. So some of that was on Donnie. Now, there was some that Nelly just needed to finish, but they've got good size. I mean, they're a big, big team, Nevada. So I'm not concerned with Nelly at all. He had double-digit rebounds. I think he's the best big in the league. So you got to tip your cap to both of those teams having something to do with it as well.
Okay, and then obviously senior nights for the seniors. We get that. This is going to be the last home game of the season. There are questions about two people in particular. Donovan Dent, have you had any conversations with him about the future? And I will ask you any thoughts that you can tell Lobo fans about your future.
I've not had any specific comments or conversations with Donovan about the future. There's been, some little things, but I don't want him thinking about it. Plus, so many things can change. My goal with all the players all the time, and especially a guy like Donovan of that caliber, is let's put you in a position to make the NBA from here. Very, very similar to JT. JT is having a phenomenal year at Texas Tech. I think he could have done the same thing here. Not criticizing his decision. I still touch base with JT and love him, but want what's best for him. With Donovan, when the season ends, we will have more of an in-depth, especially now because of NIL and all those things where you got to talk about all of it. But what he has done for this program to impact winning is not something that any of us can overlook. And, we got to figure out a way to keep him here. I think he loves it here. I think he appreciates it. I think he understands the value of everything that we have to offer. As for me, I think people have to understand this. When there's two sides to this. If you lose, everybody's going to want you fired, right? If you win, especially at a place like New Mexico, people are always going to rumor you for other jobs. It's just the reality of the situation. It does not mean that is something I am pushing. A lot of the time it's not true. That's what makes it hard for me to constantly have to debunk some of these things. You just got to kind of go with the flow. My focus has always been to pour my heart and soul into this program and continue to make it better. I think we've obviously done that. And I'm always pushing for, with Fern and administration and so on, to how can we strengthen the investment piece. And Fern's been amazing. Like, he has been so willing to have those conversations. So, I've always been very, very truthful about the future with me. I'm very appreciative of what New Mexico has to offer. We've won 24, 26, 22 the last 3 years. It's not like I just learned how to coach. The support that we get here, the fans, the community, that does not go lost on me. So I don't know what the future holds. I am very, very grateful for this place. I love being the coach here, and my mindset is continuing to build and build and build.
Coach, what's it mean to have Mustafa's physicality back on the floor?
Well, we need to have it. It's been missing a little bit because of the foot, and got to get him. He's looking better. He's looking more healthy. It happened last UNLV game, whenever that was, where he was really, really hobbled. He's a veteran. He's a guy who's been there before. He hit the side of the backboard on a shot and then came back and made a huge three. So that mental toughness, that's what you get from a fifth-year senior. So I think he'll start to – now how long does our season continue? I don't know, but I think he's going to start turning the corner to playing better basketball.
When you talk about the investment into the program, is it things like travel, like chartering flights to every road game, things like that? Or is it like a nutrition center?
I think it's I think when I got here, I think I've been very fortunate to have some terrific ADs. Eddie was awesome. Love him. Still communicate with him. And then Fern he's as impressive as it gets. But when we got here, there was this building, which is awesome, phenomenal, but it was half empty. Now, they'd had some down years plus a pandemic. Pandemic certainly has something to do with that. But we've always had, I believe, a top 10 fan base, but we haven't had the resources to match the fan base. Now, are we ever going to have top 10 fan resources? Probably not. It's probably unrealistic here. But what I've always pushed for is whether it's nutrition, whether it's travel, things that I truly think can affect student-athlete experience. But it's certainly changed even more. Right now, it's going to be rev share, and it's going to be, is there additional NIL? What does that look like? None of us really know. Coaches' salaries, staff, being able to retain those guys, maybe an extra position or two of whatever that may be. I have always traditionally liked a small staff. I like less people doing more. I'm not a big fan of a million people not really doing anything. So those are all conversations I've had with Fern, because what we have, money cannot buy. And there's a lot of people that would kill to have the fan base, the building. And if we catch up with the other things, and we are, by the way, I don't think we're far off. We're improving every single year. So I think the investment that we get from the community, we're able to pour back into the program. So a little bit of everything, it's just kind of the way it's working right now.
And after the Nevada game, your videographer had a cool moment where you come into the locker room and you get doused with water. That's got to be a rewarding feeling for you, just to, after all, you just mentioned it, the building process to do that. What was that like for you to go through that?
Well, getting drenched with water sucks, so I'm not going to lie to you there. It's anytime you have a videographer in your locker room, you're going to expect to get drenched with water. That's kind of the new thing. But no, it was an awesome moment. I think we started the conference season December 4th. December 6th, December 4th. Yeah. So we obviously won the game, but several teams won the game but this has been 3 months of being in first place. In horse racing, they call that wire to wire, right? And that's hard to do. So it's funny when we won the conference tournament and we were sitting in the off season and I've got the trophy in my office. I think Aaron Katsuma said, well, we won a title. And I said, that's not the title I'm looking for. I want the 20 game title. In my illustrious coaching career, I don't have too many of those. So I'm very, very proud of the physical and mental toughness to be able to do that, to win 8 in a row and then to lose 2 in a row. And not to think anybody thought the sky was falling, but then bounce back, get Air Force, get a Nevada team on the road was huge. So, I'm very, very grateful for what New Mexico has done for my coaching career. Not to say that I was miserable at Minnesota at all, but I was not able to have the consistent success that we've been able to build here. And I truly, truly believe that's not all because of me. It's because of a lot of people who are helping us.
And is the Mountain West a 4-bid league? Because now you're starting to see Boise State sneak into that conversation. But do you think the league deserves 4?
I don't like are you sick? What's with your voice? Jeez, okay. All right. When you talk, just point your germs over that way. I would say, depending, certainly, I think Boise's got Colorado State, right? So if they win that game, that's a quality win for them. I love Nico, but I'm going to root for Boise in that situation. But that would be a quality win. Colorado State, who knows the noise that they make in the conference tournament, they could get Boise. So I would think it's a 4-bid league. I don't think wins and losses this time of year impact seeding as much as people probably think. I think we're starting to see that more and more. Like one loss here or one win here doesn't catapult you by any means. But yeah, I think I think you look at the top 7, and I would say Nevada and UNLV included in that. They've always been really, really strong since I've been in the league. Wyoming has certainly with Linder, and I know Sundance will get it going. It's been really amazing to see more than anything. So we'll see. I mean, Boise's darn close. I do know that. He's tweeting, so it's.
Would you please put in perspective, your perspective, the kind of season that Donovan Dent is having? What he's doing is unbelievable. And I just thought with your history and what you've seen, you could give us some context.
Well, again, in my 13 years of being a head coach, I don't think I've ever had a player of the year. I would be stunned if it's not Donovan. He has been absolutely dominant in so many phases. He's taken over games. He has willed us to victory. We've had moments where we've missed some shots, and he's been able to get to the basket and carry us. I think that you're seeing a team. Now, we've won 24 games, so you could say great chemistry, but I believe the way that Donovan plays the game is why we have such good chemistry, because he is such a willing passer. He'd probably prefer it, to be honest with you. Sometimes I try to get on him and be more aggressive. He is an awesome person, high level of substance, like I was talking about with some of the other guys. I've always believed in him. He was our first true recruit, out of high school. He stayed true to himself when he's gotten so many good accolades, which he deserves. We are not sitting here with the championship. We're not sitting at 24-6 if it's not for Donovan Dent, and very, very grateful to coach him.
Coach, looking ahead to the matchup with UNLV, they knocked down 12 threes against San Diego State. In 5 of your 6 losses this season, teams are shooting 44% from 3. You take out the St. John's game. Last time you guys played UNLV, you gave up 5 threes to Rishwain. What's key for the team in defending the three-point line?
Well, Rishwain is an elite three-point shooter. Elite. So obviously got to do a great job on him. They certainly look different without Didon Thomas. Is he going to play? I don't know. He's missed some time, and it looks a little different, because he's such a dynamic point guard. But they're really good off the bounce. UNLV's always done that. They're peaking at a terrific time. They've been good in this building since I've been here. So past games don't necessarily matter. So like anything else defensively, getting to the shooters. And, San Diego State does that because they really pack it in. But Rishwain is certainly a guy that we got to be really, really aware of where he is at all times.
And then True, you take out the Air Force game. True struggling from the field a little bit, 2 of 16 against San Diego State and then against Nevada. Still effective defensively, but what's been your message to him to get him out of the slump?
Again, I don't think San Diego State, I don't think that's a slump. I think San Diego State's one of the best defensive teams in the country. He hit a huge 3 last game in the corner with a couple of minutes to go where we were sputtering a little bit offensively. So always the message with True has been focus on your defense and the offense will come. He does have a tendency to force it. He even knows that. But I've always said, you want guys to be aggressive. So just let the game come to you, watch some film with them, see those things, and obviously knock down big shots like he did.
The celebration, back to the water celebration in the locker room. CJ got hit pretty hard with the water bottle.
That was hilarious.
Is he okay?
He's going to be out tomorrow. He may play with an eye patch. We're going to see if he can do that. But yeah, that was, that was so funny. He is fine. Yes.
And he got hit as hard as he did by the Utah State guy. They didn't call a foul there. This one would have been a foul for sure.
Definitely should have been a foul. If you saw it though, True got hit with some friendly fire before. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, it was a great moment, and we all laughed it off.
I'd love to hear your perspective as well on the season that Nelly is having and just how good a big he has been. And we all think, first team all Mountain West center.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing for Nelly. He's like bragging like he's Bill Russell with all the championships he's won. whether at Iona or with us. But very, very lucky to have him. A guy that we're going to have to replace in the portal. That will not be easy. To get a big guy like that to stay here obviously is huge. So we've got some work to do when the season ends to replace him, even Mustafa. But as I said before with Nelly, I mean, he's such an awesome kid. So easy to be around on a daily basis. I trust him, love all those guys. He's averaging a double-double. I truly believe he's first-team all-conference player. And, he's just put in the work. He's been very, very consistent and very, very reliable.